I can't shake what happened 2 days ago in Texas. I'm just haunted by it. 10 years ago, it happened at Sandy Hook. This is 2 months into our church plant in Silver Spring, Maryland. Sandy Hook happened on a Friday. That Sunday, I had to preach, and I had no idea what to say. I opened my sermon that morning by just reading the names and the ages of all the victims at Sandy Hook, and it was emotional. I had a hard time getting through it, and then for years after that, my kids went to an elementary school that dismissed kids outside of the school. Teachers would gather with their classes, hundreds of kids outside until parents walked up to pick them up. For those years, as I walked to get my kids on my days to pick them up, I would scan the parking lot and the crowd for someone that looked like a potential shooter because our kids and our teachers were sitting ducks. I mean, I remember thinking right after Sandy Hook happened, I thought, surely our government will finally do something about this epidemic of violence. No, they haven't done a damn thing, and it keeps happening. And there's plenty of blame to go around. I blame the lack of term limits on our elected politicians. They make careers out of maintaining power. I blame the NRA. God damn the NRA and the gun lobby. I pray that God would dismantle and destroy those evil organizations. I blame American history. Our story is built on violence, genocide, slavery, the right to bear arms, our unholy addiction to war. America has been at war every decade of our existence. This is a sickness. This is white supremacy. I blame American Christians who say this country was founded as a Christian nation. It's unbelievable bullshit, and it numbs you in a lot of very dangerous ways. I blame the Republican Party. You are bought and paid for by the gun lobby. You are gutless, and this blood is on your hands. I blame people who think there is any conceivable reason to own an assault rifle. I blame the Democrats. You run shitty political ground wars and have pathetic political imagination. What would happen if you gave just a little on abortion? If you stopped selling the bullshit message that women's rights and the rights of the unborn are mutually exclusive? You know how many conservatives are one-issue voters? What if you tried to change some of your ideology so that you could install long-needed gun control? This blood is on your hands too. I blame pastors who refuse to speak up on violence and the need for gun control. You are just as gutless as our elected officials. You care more about not pissing people off and losing your job than about speaking the truth. Your silence and your milquetoast responses to violent tragedy feeds the cancer that lives inside all of us Americans, an addiction to violence as a means to an end. I blame the video game industry. How many hours a day do young American men practice killing? And I blame myself for not speaking up more, especially to fellow pastors and to Christians. I blame myself for caring more about maintaining cordial relationships than bringing heaven to earth. This blood is on my hands too. Who am I leaving out? What am I leaving out? Because there's more to this. There's plenty of blame to go around. This is on all of us. Clearly, the way we have been going about things isn't working. Some of you I blame are my friends. Some of you are my family. Some of you are my neighbors. Some of you are my enemies. Yet, I love and root for all of you, for all of us. There is a collective movement that's possible from all of us. It may start with anger and sadness and grief and blame, but it has to move to love. Greater love has no one than this, to lay one's life down for one's friends. And that's the solution. For those of us with any ounce of power, we have to sacrifice. The only way to subvert power is through sacrifice. Jesus was a brilliant politician. On the cross, he showed us the way: sacrifice. This is how the world changes. So, what am I willing to sacrifice in order to change our country? Am I willing to sacrifice my politics, my tribe? What rights would I give up? My career, my reputation? What are we willing to sacrifice? Because it has to be something other than our children.